All right, all right, all right. Welcome back again to Toilets to Titles, episode number 122. It is mock draft season. I feel like we've been mock drafting for the last 500 episodes. It does not end, but you know what? I love mock drafts. My guests here, we love. Nino loves mock drafts. Joe loves mock drafts. Jared loves. Who doesn't love themselves a mock draft? So right now we are bringing to you something I think that I don't think there's a lot of out there. There's IDP guys, and I reached out to a bunch of them because we needed some experts on the show. We're doing an IDP only rookie mock. We're giving these defensive players the attention they deserve. All right. And we brought on some guests, some experts in the field to help us. Before I introduce those guests, I'm going to introduce the fellows from Toilets to Titles who've been riding with me and helping me throughout the process and are ready to draft tonight. And I'm going to start with the man to my left. That's at Nino Brown _ T2T. You might know him as Diamond Dynasty Page. How we doing, Nino?
I'm good, man. Just grinding, getting these drafts done, ready to get some draft some defensive studs. So let's get it.
Yeah, Nino, you gotta follow Nino's Twitter because he's gonna be doing some giveaways. Toilets to Titles. You gotta follow the Toilets to Titles Twitter at Toilets to Titles because Nino's the guy behind the mask there. And I think we got some stickers, we got some keychains coming. He's got all sorts of stuff we're gonna be giving away, and we also still have like 12 Frankenstein spots to fill out. So yes, so if you want in, you got to reach out because they are filling up absolutely quickly. I'm also going to introduce my man, Joe Clark at Joe J _ Clark. We actually got to visit with each other this weekend, watch my son play some soccer. Joe, how we doing?
Doing well, man. Doing great. Starting to finally roll out those 2022 draft class reviews for each NFL team. So, just enjoying doing that. It's my type of thing that I love to do. So, but life is going good. I'm looking forward to doing my first IDP draft tonight.
Man, so Chris's videos is in the chat. Our guy, he wants to mock, but I want to make sure, Chris, this is IDP only. So you're going to have to bring it if you think you could bring it. Doors open. Slot number 6. Chris is the man, dude. I feel like Chris has watched every single one of our episodes. So Chris, if you want it, slot 6 is wide open. So Mike put the link in the chat. We'll give you some time to fill that spot while we can continue. But again, think about it. It's IDP. So make sure you check that out. And it is rookie only. So I am going to continue behind the curtains. We have Dirty Jobs. He's going to be producing. He is going to be picking as well. And it's at Dirty Jobs 21. He's behind the scenes doing some funky stuff, and you can only catch on to that funky stuff if you get into our Patreon. That's a Patreon tier number 11. You get to see Mike do the funky stuff. All right, that's patreon.com/Toilets Titles. All right, enough about us. All right, we've made this man wait way too long, and it's a man we had on last year for the same episode, IDP only rookie mock, and we nailed it. Michael Parsons, number 1 off the board. So I'm expecting this year. I'm letting him pick first. All right, tonight it's Jared Gray at Jared Gray, JAROD on the Twitter. Jared, what's happening?
What's up, man? Good to be here. I'm glad to be back.
Man, we are excited to have you. You were the first person I thought of when I thought about putting this episode together. I want to let everybody know we also have at Dynasty Trip. He's going to be drafting from home. You guys know Coach Fry. He's been on the episode quite a few times, drafting from home. And Joey the Tooth. All right, so we got a bunch of other IDP experts helping us out this evening. They're going to be drafting. I will let you know when they pick. But, Jared, before the episode, you had talked about your fanaticism. I don't even know if that's a word. but let's roll with it. With college football, because, Joe is like the resident – kind of NFL draft expert at Toilets Titles. And, that kind of led you into being really into college football. And how many stadiums did you say you visited?
I think my number's 42 right now. I'm going to try to go to at least 3 more this year. So
which 3?
So I haven't been to Ole Miss yet.
Nice.
So I think that I'm going to have to go to Florida, Ole Miss.
Oh, you never been to Gainesville?
I've been to Gainesville, but I've never been to an Ole Miss versus Florida, the Tea Party.
Oh, okay.
So I think I'm going to have to try to go to one of those this year or next year. I've never been to I've never been to Utah, which is interesting because I live like right next to it in California, right next to UNLV. I've been to UNLV, but I always wanted to go to Utah. So I've been to University of Nevada, but never been to University, because it's right there in Las Vegas. But I've never went all the way to Utah. So I want to go to Utah. I think that's going to be a thing for me. I went to Eugene like 3 times. It's pretty crazy there. Like it's one of the loudest stadiums I've ever been to in my life, without a doubt.
Yeah. Did you go to Virginia Tech yet?
Yes.
Did you get to see them come out to, what is it, Enter
Yeah, so the main reason I've been to Virginia Tech is I'm from Oklahoma. Their old head coach, their previous head coach, went to Tulsa Union, and my uncle is Bill Blankenship.
Oh, man.
So used to be the head coach at Tulsa University. Now he's the head coach at Owasso. But his quarterback, or a kid that used to play for him, was the head coach of Virginia Tech the last couple of years. And it's kind of a must. Like I had to go, support. I actually left it at 3 quarters, but you want one of the craziest things. Enter Sandman is bonkers, dude.
Dude, I watch it online and it gets me fired up.
Dude, they even get live for a freaking spring game. I mean,
right. So have you been to Clemson?
No.
Okay, so I want to watch them. They kind of run down the hill.
That's one of my favorites, without a doubt. One of my favorites, like traditions. Touching Howard's Rock and running down the hill.
Dude,
one of the greatest traditions in college football.
What a blessing! What a blessing we've been given. College football, all the teams and all their traditions. Like I'm just running through things I want to ask you about and just visualizing them. A, is it fall yet? Because it needs to get here. I need to watch some college football. B, like I need to see these things. But yeah, that Clemson, Virginia Tech. What about West Virginia? You been there?
Yeah.
Country roads?
It's not crazy. I mean, I bet a long time ago, it was probably hostile, but
right, with Noel Devine and
they were crazy during that time. Pat White, Noel Devine,
South Bend.
Yeah.
South Bend, you said? Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to OU Notre Dame.
Woo!
So,
nice.
What was your favorite environment? Like out of everything you've gotten to see?
I still think one of the greatest environments in college football history is Oklahoma, Texas at the Cotton Bowl. During Oklahoma Tech State Fair, the 50-50 split, the stadium is exactly 1 mile to Austin, 1 mile to, University of Oklahoma, Norman, in the same distance combined. So everybody travels the same distance to go to the ball game. And that is one of the coolest things to me. I mean, there's no more neutral site than the Cotton Bowl for that game. Man, and that's why, to my opinion, it might not be Ohio State Michigan's the greatest rivalry in college football. It's probably top 3 greatest rivalry of all time, but Oklahoma, Texas is the greatest neutral fight anywhere.
I feel like Ohio State Michigan used to be great. Like it's been pretty boring, at least for me.
Well, I'll agree with the last 10 years, but at least Michigan made something of it this year.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ryan, he's actually one of the newest members to Frankenstank, so welcome. One of the newest followers to the show. He just said Tennessee running through the T. So you ever get to go to a Volunteers game?
Yeah, so I actually went to Nashville when I was a recruiter in the Navy. I was in Nashville where Vanderbilt is, so I went there. And then obviously I went to Knoxville to watch one game. I'm trying to remember. I think they played Vanderbilt actually, which was funny. So, and then I was there one year when they were playing Oklahoma at Oklahoma, but I had to be in Nashville. So I was wearing an OU jersey, and there was probably 1,000 Tennessee fans like coming at me. Oklahoma won that game, so it wasn't too bad. But
Hendon Hooker.
All right, so man. Yeah, that's it. That's the pick right there. That's the Devi. That's the Devi episode, which is next week with John Lau. So everybody needs to tune in next week. We're not going to be mock drafting, but we're going to be talking Devi prospects. So Hendon Hooker, that's one of his top quarterback prospects. So we'll definitely be talking about him next week. All right, so I think it's time. What we're going to do is we're going to do a 3-round, 10-pick mock draft. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm sorry. Chris's videos was looking to see if he could join the stream as well.
All right, yes. If someone could hook him up with the link, that's fine. So if you have his email or whatever, Chris, we'll get that out to you. All right, so you picking 6, so we'll get you linked in by the time we get going there. All right. So by the way, so like I said, we're doing 3 rounds, 10 teams per round, and it's going to be very interesting to see who goes first off the board. To my man Jared here. So Mike is in the background. He's doing his stuff. Like I said, that's Patreon tier 11 if you want to see him do the stuff he's doing in the background. Why don't you kick off this bad boy, my friend, and then we'll get drafted.
So I'll be honest with you. I was really in debate on what I was going to do here, and I think everybody expects me to do one thing. And
ooh, you're going to throw a curveball? Dirty jobs. Let's get this thing rolling, baby.
I'm usually known for surprises. Hey, Chris's videos, real quick. I have your email address, but I'm not signed in to StreamYard. I came in through a link, so I can't send you the link.
You can copy it. You can copy and send it.
Okay, baby, yeah.
I believe.
It's not giving me the option.
Oh, sorry.
It's
all right,
okay.
hey, we'll set you up. We'll set you up in the next mock. All right. Oh, Hooker for Heisman plus 6,000. All right.
Go.
Mike D, did you start the draft? We good. We got Facebook user. He is in. There it is. He got it. All right, Jared. First selection. Let's roll, baby.
Okay, so like I said, I really expected to go top of the board. Hey, this guy looks good. But there's only one player in this entire draft that sets himself out apart. That because usually I would tell you we already are pretty set on certain positions, the IDP aspect for rookies. It has to be a top tier guy that I need help in. And I'm usually pretty stacked at defensive lineman or, linebacker. So you take the best player available. And for me, it's Kyle Hamilton.
Ooh, we got a safety off the board. Number 1. All right, so you just got to make that selection, man. Put him in. So you're picking 1-1, so you put him in through the sleeper. So Kyle Hamilton.
Well, I'm trying.
Nice.
He's trying. All right, I don't know. You got to look him up or hit the plus sign.
I've hit the plus sign. So
there it is. Does anybody have any thoughts on Kyle Hamilton going number 1 overall?
Yeah, I don't listen. I'm new to IDP, but I mean, it's something I was thinking about with Kyle Hamilton because of how Baltimore uses their safety. It's so integral, and safety blitzes all the time. He's going to be starting day 1, Kyle Hamilton.
100%.
That defense is predicated on their safety, so it makes all the sense in the world.
I play in an IDP league that I created called the Fictional Football League, where I wanted a league that was similar to a real football league. So what I did was I made a rule that you have to start a legitimate defense, and you have to pick your
best linebacker in Baltimore.
You have to pick a defensive scheme prior to the season, and then you have to start. So like 3-4, so 3-4-4 or whatever. So every year you have to start. So I'm always going with ones. If anyone drops, I'll hook you up. You'll get in. So I'm always going with multiple safeties. If I can find a look with 3 safeties, because safeties, I understand Hamilton going first, but they're also, if you pay attention to the waiver wire, if you track stats, there's always 2 or 3 dudes that break out of nowhere every year. And I feel like safeties are solid and they pad the stat sheet. But another thing that's hard to find is a linebacker. All right. And I'm telling you, I'm not worried about this injury. I'm going with Nakobe Dean out of Philadelphia. This man is going to be playing behind Jordan Davis. What is Jordan Davis going to do? Jordan Davis is going to prevent guards and centers from extending to the second level. And that's going to free Nakobe Dean up. And one of the best things Nakobe Dean does is sniff out the run and move. 2 things he's excellent at. And Jordan Davis is going to allow him to do that. Philadelphia has had some average linebackers produce solid fantasy numbers over the past few years. And I think Nakobe Dean's better than anything they had. And I think I didn't miss with this pick. And that if I'm picking early,
especially with Singleton gone.
All right, so after that,
that's a great pick.
Fry, slow down real quick if you're listening at home. We have 2 other picks. So we had Aiden Hutchinson go. What are you guys' thoughts? Mike Dirty Jobs went with Aiden Hutchinson. I think he was like a consensus top pick, but does anybody have any thoughts on Hutchinson going 3?
Makes sense to me. I mean, he's going to be starting day one on a defense that's pretty limited in terms of talent. So he's not going to be coming out too often, I think. And I think he's ready to roll out there day one. So
right.
He's going to be getting his opportunities. And real quick on Dean is an effective blitzer from up the middle as well.
And with Hutchinson, I want a defensive end who not only gets sacks. I need a defensive end who also gets tackles for loss. And I think he's the type of guy who isn't just going to be an edge rusher. I think he's also going to be able to contribute in the run game, because if this guy can also get you tackles, that's just more points. I need points. And he's the type of edge defender that's going to get that done. Yeah, beast. Devin Lloyd.
I think you could see a Brian Burns type stats from him.
Really?
60 tackles.
Solid. If you're getting that from a guy plus 10 sacks, killing it. Now, exactly. Devin Lloyd goes 4th overall. What are you guys' thoughts there?
That dude's a monster.
I mean, next to
monster.
Olukun, I mean, especially with Miles Jack gone, you don't trust Damian Wilson. Before I love what the package they've done together, and Lloyd and Olukun together is really solid.
Yeah. All right, so Devin Lloyd's explosive, and he was like the flavor of the month, like October.
Yeah.
And then also it's like people's kind of started to turn and look towards other people, but I mean the production was there. He lit it up this season, so I'm excited to see him at the next level. So Coach Fry, he's a defensive coach. He loves edge defenders. He loves working with edge defenders.
Sniped.
I should have seen this coming. Kayvon Thibodeau is off the board. So what are you guys, any thoughts on Thibodeau versus Hutchinson in IDP? Jared, what are your thoughts?
So for me, I would tell you, I think Kayvon Thibodeau is most athletic defensive lineman in the draft. And somebody said, he didn't have good work ethic. The fact of the matter is nobody can stop him, so it didn't matter, but the dude's a beast. And so end up in New York when you got Dallas who likes to pass the ball, you got Philly that has a running quarterback. I really think Washington is going to try to set a lot of running, and they will throw the ball, especially now they've got a guy for Scary Terry. Just in that division alone, I think he gets 5 sacks. So I love him. I love Kayvon Thibodeau. I think he's an absolute savage, to be honest with you.
Right. And Dallas is always an injury away from having, like when Tyron Smith, he plays 10 games a year. That's it. So Terrence Steele's on the right-hand side. I mean, it's sad. It's true. So, there's question marks on the edge there. Philadelphia's O-line's getting older, and I don't think Washington's O-line's very good either. So I can see that too. So, Nino, you said 10 sacks. Now we got Chris's videos on the clock with the 6th selection. So Chris is in the lab thinking about how he can make us look bad with the golden pick.
Gonna have a chip
Don't
on
take
his
my
shoulder.
You think he is?
Yeah, I mean he dropped. You know what I mean? All because he wanted his brand and he wanted to make a brand for himself. I mean he should have been a top 3 pick.
Sauce.
So we got a corner off the board. 6 overall. He said he's going sauce. Tackles are really good, and the interceptions are good as well. Get a really good DB for the future. So now here, if you're playing in a league like the one I discussed, that you have to start corners, and I played in Shark Tank last year, and you had to start corners. So there are definitely leagues. So if I'm playing in a league where it's just a DB, I don't want a corner. I ain't touching a corner. Give me safeties. But if you have to start a corner, I get it. That's the only case that I get it. Because, they're a dime a dozen too. There's guys who pop up all the time. Give me, if you want to fill a corner spot, all right, Kansas City, they're going to score 40 points. Their opponent's likely going to score 30. Their opponent's going to be chasing. Their opponent's going to be throwing. So give me their number 2 corner. Because what is the opposing quarterback going to be targeting? The opposing quarterback's going to be targeting their number 2 corner. Chances are he's going to get pass deflections. He's going to get tackles just by osmosis. Yeah. So that's a strategy. But I understand Sauce Gardner, the draft capital was there. The dude's talented. And if he is elite, it is worth a selection there. So, Joe, you were on the clock. I don't know what number this is. Is this 7, Joe?
Number 7.
Lucky number 7.
This is the guy I wanted. I think I think he's in a great situation, and I think he's going to be used all over the place as he should be. Assuming the new coaching regime knows what they're doing.
Upside. That's an upside selection.
Trevon Walker.
Trevon Walker. Joe, tell us about your selection, man.
Listen, the guy he can play anywhere on a D line in a 3-4, 4-3 defense. He's not coming off the field. Again, he's going to a team that's being rebuilt basically from the ground up, and they need talent. There's no reason for him to be taken off the field. I think he's an absolute monster. So people can. Does
it remind you of JPP a little bit?
Yeah.
As a Giants fan, you see the NASCAR package.
Yeah, I'd say more capable playing on the interior though as well. But this guy has got. People could quibble about whether or not he should have won what number one overall.
What?
Quibble or argue, about whether or not he should have went number one overall. But I love the guy, and I just love the versatility he's going to bring, and he's going to produce from anywhere along the line.
And Joe's available if you're looking for any sort of GM help. All right, if you're an NFL franchise, you're looking for a guy who knows this stuff. Joe's available. Joe was on Trayvon Walker way back. All right, way back when, before he was jumping. All right, Nino, you're on the clock, my friend.
I'm torn right now. I got two guys. One guy just got an injury, but I'm gonna go with George. Carl. I don't even know how to say it.
Karlaftis.
I'm not even gonna say it. Yeah, I mean he's in Kansas City. He's gonna start day one, and from what I see so far from the OTAs, I mean he's killing it. He's in there. He's making his move. He's physical. You know?
You don't get stronger than him.
What's that?
Yeah,
I like the Kway Walker pick too.
So Joe is saying you don't get stronger than him. You don't get stronger than Karlaftis.
No.
And with Chris Jones in there, who's going to attract attention.
He's going to get one-on-ones. He's going to put a lot of pressure.
And what did I say? What are opponents going to be doing? Jared, if you could hold on for a second, I want to go over the next few picks. But what are opponents going to be doing against Kansas City?
Throwing.
So for me, I would say
that opens it up, right? Karlaftis is going to get sacks. He's just
100%.
He's a bull rush monster.
And with one-on-one, he's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait until he develops other moves.
I love the Karlaftis pick. Love it.
All right, then the next selection with Kway Walker as Dynasty Trip. So, Jared, you seemed excited about that. Why don't you fill us in on that?
Well, for me, I mean, think about it, right? They've got one guy that they trust who's, let's be real, is old, at the linebacker position. But in that aspect, why not bring a young guy in? You don't trust the linebacking core that you have. You got Walker coming in, who honestly is downhill, hits hard. I mean, they love that. His tape looks great. And in that division, you got to stop, running back. So plus a running quarterback in one of them. I love Kway Walker. I think he's a dynasty stash for days. Huge upside.
You think he should have been first linebacker off the board?
No.
I
think he's top 4 though.
I agree.
I did think about taking him with my first pick.
Well, the next selection, Nate,
I went with Walker.
The Dirt Man, aka the Mailman on Sleeper, and only his true friends know what the Mailman means. All right, that's Patreon level 15. He went with Daxton Hill. This dude's in Cincinnati. I'm hearing Jesse Bates is holding out. He might not even show up. So this dude, he already should be on the field, but he might have more responsibility out of the gate. This guy is all over the place. This dude's a rocket. I love this selection because when I had Jamal Adams a few years ago when he was getting sacks and tackles, that was IDP cheat code. And I could see Daxton Hill having similar numbers, but Daxton Hill is better in coverage than Jamal Adams was coming out of LSU. So Nate, ending the rounds that saw Kyle Hamilton go first overall, I think Daxton Hill going last pick of the draft in the first round for this IDP fantasy league.
Well, the other reason I love the Daxton pick is with, Jesse Bates hasn't said that he will not sign his franchise tag.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could jump straight in, and I love Daxton. Yeah. I mean, he's from Oklahoma, so I've known that kid for a long time, and he's all talent, dude. I mean, he's all talent.
Yeah, he does it all.
He could play day one there.
He's a.
Oh, I get to play pick again. Sorry,
Yeah, sorry.
I wasn't paying attention.
What's the Bengals cap at? Like, they still a lot of signing this year. A lot of offensive tackles and linemen. They must not have much money left to.
Nick Bonito.
Sell me.
Here's the facts.
You're
the Broncos. You trade both your first-round picks, right? Your first pick in the draft is going to be a starter, 100%. Right? And if you watch the video of the Broncos GM getting to pick Nick Bonito, they're like, wow, 64? How is he available at 64? Nick Bonito was the number 1 PFF graded pass rusher the last 2 years in college football. And they don't have a strong linebacking core. They only have one good – you can't trust Gregory. You got Chubb who's hurt. So I love Nick Bonito. I'm an absolute steal. And I was going to take – if it was going to be snake draft, he was going to be my third pick. But I don't know if he's going to be available. So I took him now.
All right, I'm going to go with Channing Tindal. I'm
Nice.
filling up on linebackers, man. I'm trying to go with upside. And I think that this guy, kind of similar to Walker, coming out of Georgia, a lot of upside. And there is a need for somebody to fill a role. And the draft capital is there, 3rd round. I think this guy's going to have a lot of tackles out there. So I think linebackers are the most valuable position in IDP. So that's 100%. Where I'm going. Yeah. Any of you guys have thoughts on Tindal?
I mean, I like where he's at because I think Miami's going to try to score, which means they need a linebacker that can tackle in coverage. So
athlete
to keep up, I think Tindall's a good pick.
Big athlete. All right, and then Dirty Jobs went with Jermaine Johnson, who everyone was thinking was going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, fell to the Jets somehow late at the end of the 1st round pick. So we got another edge defender who's considered an LB here right now, but I think in most fantasy leagues you'll probably see him as an edge. Anybody have any thoughts on Jermaine Johnson going there in the 2nd round?
I mean, the Jets had the best draft in football. Let's be real here. I mean, I think we can agree. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yep.
And Jermaine Johnson kept falling. You're like, is he really going to get to the Jets? Like, you just couldn't believe it.
And the Cowboys need an edge defender. And, I kind of knew who they were going to take at the selection. But when Jermaine Johnson was falling, I was like, man, I wonder if they're thinking about it. But then they ended up getting the edge defender they wanted a little later on.
Yeah, he was locked in from the beginning.
Yeah, from the jump. All right, Joey the Tooth is on the clock. He took Devin Lloyd in the 1st round, and it is now the 4th pick of the 2nd round. So we will see where he is going. But we do have, I want to say, we got 5 edge defenders off the board, and we have 5 linebackers. So it's pretty that if you're new to IDP and you're watching this episode, I feel like that should be a hint at what's valuable, what's the most valuable, and then you got those safeties, those DBs who can make plays. You can see there's no DTs in here because you got to be if you're a defensive tackle, you got to be Aaron Donald, Jeffrey Simmons, Fletcher Cox in his prime. And I'm not sure if this draft class necessarily
those don't come along that easy.
No, no.
One every 10, 15 years.
All right, we got a Penn State. It's Ebiketie. I think that's how you pronounce it. So he now we have another. Go ahead, Nino. Tell me about him.
Just 9.5 sacks. The guy is a beast. He gets back there, pressure. You ain't one-on-one in him. There's no one-on-one. He's gonna need 2 guys.
Heavy. This class, it was heavy with strong edge defender play. And NFL teams that needed him, and now fantasy owners, I could have known Coach Fryer going another edge, David Ojabo. All right, so he's taking it with the high. He's like the Baltimore Ravens right here, getting Thibodeau and Ojabo. He's getting a hold on to him. Yeah, he's getting a hold on to him for a year. Anybody have any thoughts on Ojabo?
Baby Suggs, I'm telling you, they're gonna mold him into everything.
You have to love this situation. Baltimore, I know they have a new defensive coordinator, but I assume it's gonna roughly at least be the same type of defense, aggressive. So where they're gonna be, they're gonna be playing the press man coverage in the secondary and just, sending the kitchen sink to the quarterback. So Ojabo is in a great situation.
Send him the kitchen sink. And Ojabo is going to be in that kitchen sink because he's coming when he's healthy. Yeah. All right, Chris's videos is on the clock. We'll see where he goes here with the 2nd selection. His 1st selection was Sauce Gardner. So we're starting to see, man, edge defenders. We got more edge defenders off than linebackers. I do think this class was stronger in edge defender. But there's a few guys I like. All right, Jordan Davis. So I said no D tackles. He's like, nope. I'll bring in Jordan Davis. This guy is a super freak. Maybe he heard me talk about Fletcher Cox. So he's saying I'm going Jordan Davis. He's huge. That's all I have to say, huge. He is going to tower over everyone. So Chris's videos is going over with Jordan Davis because he just thinks Jordan Davis is going to be like Hercules. All right, just chucking people around. So that's a strong selection there. No pun intended. 2-6. And then Joe Clark, you were on the clock. You went Trayvon Walker with your first selection. Where are we going in the second?
And Jared is correct that if this was a snake draft, Benito wasn't going to make it to it because I was going to take Benito myself. But I'm going to go. The guys I really loved are kind of off the board now. So I'm going to take my first linebacker. And I'm going to go with Christian Harris. Again, I think he's in a good spot. Houston rebuilding. He's going to be out there starting. Dude's a thumper, good tackler. He's got some blitz ability in him too, coming up the middle. So I like him. I like him in this spot.
Do you have any worry about him based upon how Alabama linebackers have done transitioning into the NFL over the last few years?
I know what you're saying. I actually like them more than I think maybe some other people. It might just
who's a better prospect coming out, Harris or Rashaan Evans?
Ooh.
Harris. I like Harris.
I love Evans. I love
Evans. Was solid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like Harris.
The problem with Rashaan Evans is his head's not on a swivel. I mean, he's like deer in the headlights.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Which is great when you're going downhill, but there's so much movement in football now.
Gets burnt.
And if you watch Harris, like especially against a lot of movement team, that dude, I don't know what it is. He reads backers. Like
Good.
That dude he's a beast, dude.
Need to hear it.
He gets no love, and I can't believe it's a great position for him.
Joe loves
I love
you. Got love for me.
Joe
I agree with every word you
Nino.
said, Jared.
All right, Nino sniped me. My boy Sam Williams off the board. Go ahead, Nino. Tell me about him.
He's just a force. I mean, he had 134 tackles total in his career, 22 sacks. He's just on the side of Michael Parsons. He's gonna get this one-on-ones. I mean, he's gonna have lanes. He's gonna be eating up the quarterback.
Yeah, Dan Quinn did work with Parsons last year, and this year he's already working with Sam. And they got DeMarcus Lawrence there too. DeMarcus Lawrence is healthy, and I think he's going to be working with this young man. And if this dude can stay out of his own way, I'm with you, man. I think he's going to ball. I think it's going to be like back when we had Greg Ellis and DeMarcus Ware, and I think he's going to be a little more productive than Greg Ellis was. But Greg Ellis was better than a lot of people remember. So I'm with you. I think that's a solid selection.
32 tackles for a loss, man. 32 career tackles for a loss. That's just you're in the backfield.
Give me it. I'll take that all day. Dynasty Trip is on the board. He went Kway Walker in the first round, and his second round selection, he's thinking about it because maybe he wanted Williams, maybe he wanted Harris. Who knows? So someone might have sniped him. It's hard to tell, but we will find out shortly. I have two players that I am very interested in, and I think there's a good chance one of them falls to me. We will find out shortly. And I know the mailman, Nate Dirt, is on deck, and his selection is going to wrap up the second round. So we're doing great. And hopefully everybody listening at home, I want you to comment when this thing's all said and done and let us know who you think nailed this mock draft. And also, when you're listening at home, if you're on the Twitter, if you're doing any IDP leagues, you got any questions, reach out to us. All of our Twitter handles are in here in the stream. We're at Toilets to Titles. And I do want to mention our Patreon, patreon.com/Toilets to Titles. We have a bunch of different tiers. All right. We got tier 1 gets you into our group chat. So you have access to us at all times. Tier 2 gets you into that chat, gets you waiver wire early access to waiver wire episodes in season, gets you into Frankenstein like automatically. You don't have to do nothing for it. Tier 3, $7.50 a month gets you all that, and it gets you one-on-one draft advice. So anybody at Toilets to Titles, you'll be able to reach out to them and be like, hey, you're the dude. This is what my draft is. I want you to help me pick. And we're going to get you linked up on WhatsApp or Discord. We'll get you linked up. Yes. So you could, during your draft, this dude is he's going to be helping you out. And then tier 4, $10 a month. It's all that. And it gets you free entry into Frankenstein, which is $25 value. It gets you one-on-one roster analysis. before your draft, after your draft, whenever, so we can help you make your move. So there's pretty good value in there. All right, so make sure you check that out. Patreon.com/ToysTitles. Trip, I think he's about to run out here.
Uh-oh.
We got 7 seconds left, 5. So I think if he doesn't make a selection, Jared, we were going to let you make 2 selections earlier before Chris hopped in. So why don't you make Tripp's selection? If you were on the board right here, who would you take at 2-9?
I mean, I think he needs a defensive lineman. And instead of getting too crazy here,
you just tell Mike, and Mike will input it in you.
Oh, come on, dude.
You got to take Boye Mafe, right? I mean, he's in a perfect situation.
Yeah.
All right, so
you would think that I'm really surprised he would still be on the board anyway, especially with as many D linemen we've seen gone. He's in a good position. They're going to try to be the boom again. They're going to have to be because they don't have a quarterback, so they better play good defense. I think it's a good pick.
All right. Chanal went next. Leo Chanal, nice. He went next. Linebacker out of Wisconsin, another thumper. Nate Dirt. He loves his Wisconsin players, man. Nate, he's got a Michigan man. He's got a Wisconsin man. He's just building a tough defense. What are you guys' thoughts on Leo Chanal?
Love the guy. He was someone I was hoping my Giants would take like in the 3rd round when he was up there.
You guys don't take linebackers.
They don't. And I got to say, we just talk about just real life NFL, not just IDP. Kansas City is building a nice linebacker core over there.
It's about time because they've been old and they need to get young, and they had a good stud last year, and I think they might have found 2 more this year. So
yeah, Chanel he's a sideline to sideline.
And Willie Gay, I haven't given up on him yet.
Mm-hmm.
Willie Gay has potential for sure.
So did someone put Campy's comment up on the stream?
Oh, no, that needs to go up ASAP.
I would absolutely watch a movie with Jared Gray as a high school football coach. He's got the voice and the moxie for it. So there you go. He's going to take the Twitter handle. It's going to be Coach Jared. So Coach Chef, Coach Gray. We're going to start a fraternity of Twitter coaches, and we're all going to follow Jared Gray as he takes us out the tunnel. All right, Jared, you are back on the clock with your final selection in this draft, but you might be picking again if Tripp's not around. I know he got sick this evening. So go ahead.
I'm going to be a homer again. And for my final selection is another defensive lineman, because I still think Nick Benito plays a lot of linebacker. He's designated as a linebacker. But a guy who didn't get a lot of love at Oklahoma is Perion Winfrey, but then went to the Senior Bowl, had 2 sacks, was the Senior Bowl MVP. So Perion Winfrey is an absolute monster at 6'3", 290. If want to compare players, he reminds me a lot of Tommy Harris, but he's got the size of, Aaron Donald. So I think he's in a good position because let's be right. Everybody looks at Myles Garrett, and they're not strong on the interior part. Cleveland's not, and I think it's a good position for him. And so far in rookie minicamp, he apparently has blown some few people up. So,
and you got to pay attention to that. Like I know in July, August, like we get bored and we start seeing videos of people in shorts, and we get excited because they're catching a deep pass or this, that, and the other. But it's these weeks. It's hearing about somebody picking up a playbook quickly, or it's hearing somebody impress right now, or it's hearing somebody step right into a spot and kind of look okay doing it. Like right now is when you should have your ear to the ground. And
apparently he's embarrassing guys right now in camp. So, and that's something you don't hear of from a guy that was dropped so far in the draft. But again, he didn't win the Senior Bowl MVP defensively for nothing. He had 2 sacks in that game. So
he's a damn good player, and he plays on a good defense too now.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what Cleveland looks like this year. It's one of the storylines I'm very interested to see play out. I am going this selection. This was one of the 2 guys that I was hoping to get, and both of them are here. And I'm going to go with one player, same position, who's a little bit higher than the other player. And I'm going with Lewis Seen. He's going to be out there in Minnesota. Nice. He's going to be, he's going to have Harrison Smith to mentor him. And this dude, like Daxton Hill, I don't think he's as versatile as far as coverage goes, but I do think he's a little more physically imposing. He's a little more like don't get me wrong, Daxton Hill throws his body around, so he's going to get himself in there. But this dude, he throws his body around with bad intentions. Like, he is coming to bring the hammer, and he's going to be a 8 to 12 tackle a game guy. And I think they're going to be excited to build their secondary around a guy like this again. And he's not going to have to be deep because they have Harrison Smith to do that. So he's going to be able to be close to the ball. When he's close to the ball, he's got more likelihood to make plays on the ball. That's the type of player I want on my defense, or at least in my IDP squad. All right, so dirty job. Well, before I move on to dirty jobs, does anybody have any thoughts on Lewis Cine?
I think me and Joey the Tooth both agreed it's a phenomenal pick, especially this late. I really – you know, if I didn't take Hamilton first, there's no reason I wasn't going to take him just now. So, dude, that's a great pick. Great pick.
Appreciate it, man.
He's going to get a boatload of tackles.
100%. He had like 14 pass defenses. He gets in there and breaks the ball up too, whether he hits them or his hands.
Right. I love that guy. He was so integral to the Georgia defense.
Man, I'm another storyline I'm interested to see is how these Georgia defenders translate to the NFL. If it's one of those things where they were all just good, but because they were all good, it made them all look better. Well, we got to see it, though, because there was that year with Clemson where Clemson had some dudes, and they all kind of came into the NFL and just washed away. So you're probably right. That's probably not the case, but I need to see it. You know what I mean? I need to see it. But
it's a realistic concern.
Thank you,
No, I mean, I love seeing. I like the players, out of Georgia, but Alabama used to be the same way.
Right.
I wouldn't say that anymore. For like 10 years ago, 7 years ago, you get these guys, like off that rock star team and, not looking so great.
Now that wide receivers just keep getting arrested.
Yeah, dude, for real. What is up with that? All right, so Derek Stingley, we have our second corner officially off the board. So Derek Stingley down at Houston. So dirty jobs, Hutchinson, Johnson, Derek Stingley, and then Troy Anderson. So he took. I wonder if Joey the Tooth knows that Coach Fry is a Falcons fan, because it's probably very likely that Fry was going to go for Troy Anderson, and Troy Anderson's in my IDP rookie top 10 actually. So I think he is. Which when is our IDP rookie top 10 coming out?
I believe Friday.
Friday, man. So you're going to want to check that
out.
Campy
was under the weather, so I'm going with Friday.
Friday, all right. So we got Nino, and we also got Dirty Jobs. So you'll be able to see all of that. So Troy Anderson, what are you guys' thoughts on Troy Anderson down in Atlanta?
Sorry. For me, Atlanta needs the help, man. I mean, losing Oluokun, in my opinion, was a massive loss for them, and somebody's got to pick up the weight. And it could be Walker, but because Walker did shine when he played. But you need depth, and Anderson's that guy.
And, dude, he was taken with the 58th overall selection. 6'4", 235, ran a 4.42, played quarterback and running back in college. Like, this dude is an athlete. So getting him in the third round, it's all potential. So we can't guarantee he's going to hit. But in the third round, it's worth, especially given his traits.
There's some great players going in the third round. I mean, let's be real. I think there's more Hall of Famers in the third round than there's the second round. So.
Well, I'm saying he went in the second round of the NFL draft. I'm saying he went in the third round in our draft. So
you know what I mean. I mean, I think what I meant more in the second round than some in the first round. To be honest with you, there's a lot of misses in the first round.
I'm just saying, though, it's value 100%. Here. Because you don't have to bank on him if you're taking him in the third to hit, and you could put him on your taxi squad. We can let him sit, and then as he develops, you got high upside there. And then we got Chad Muma out of Jacksonville. He's another guy who went to Wyoming. All right, 6'3", 242, and this dude was all around the ball. He was another guy at the Senior Bowl. So, I'm very interested. I think this guy could play. And the Jaguars went ahead. They brought in some defenders. They got some defenders from this draft class. Anybody have any thoughts on Chad Muma?
Tackle machine. I mean, he got hands, man. He had 3 picks too, and never mind just 266 tackles in his career. It's crazy.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of good players come out of Wyoming, love or hate it, and I mean, country boys can play, bro. Like, just the facts.
What they got to do out there.
They like to hit.
Man, Chris's videos is pissed right now. He said he's not watching any more streams just because somebody sniped him. He's been sniped. Chad Muma is off the board. So Chris's videos, he's got to think about it.
Good linebackers in this draft. Yeah, Muma was good. Anderson was interesting because he shot up the boards late after Senior Bowl week. he had been known as like a really good run defender, and then apparently the coaches were trying him out like in pass protection. And apparently, it was phenomenal, and that's what just shot him up the board. So you're looking at a 3-down linebacker here.
Anderson could throw the ball too, right?
Guess so.
QB3,
so. Former quarterback, right? Yeah.
QB3.
Yep. Save some
QB3
money
behind
there.
Mariota.
Save that. Yep. Save that roster spot.
There you go.
All right. So the next man on the board here, like I said, is still Chris. So Chris is thinking about it.
Well,
don't take my guy, Chris.
You know.
Coach Fry went ahead and took his guy. I'm surprised. There's somebody on this board. It's another ball player. I'm pretty surprised.
I hope nobody takes my guy.
Well, I think the dude I'm talking about is the dude you want.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't go to Joe though. Joe's a little sneaky.
He is. Joe knows talent.
He's a silent assassin. He just sits there, he waits, and then he snipes.
I'm an observer. Exactly. Like a quiet rattlesnake.
Joe knows.
There's
talent.
There's a guy that might not be drafted, but I can't believe he's still available. So.
Oh, Chris's videos. You're up, buddy.
Don't miss.
Oh man, that was quick. Brandon Smith out of Penn State. He ran to the podium. Joe, tell me about Brandon Smith.
The dude's a thumper. He's a linebacker. He's like an old school linebacker. I like him. He's got Penn State written all over him. I like the guy. I'm a huge fan of Penn State talent. This guy, he's a good inside linebacker who's got some ability to get to the he's versatile as well, but he's got some ability to get to the quarterback too. So I think also going to a good situation in Carolina. I think they're building the defense well. I like him, man. And did he go 4th round?
Brandon Smith. Let me check.
I believe it was 4th round.
Yeah.
Does he remind you a lot like, for me, I think a lot like Matt Milano?
Miami.
Not sure.
I mean, just his play for me.
Buffalo, not Miami.
I can see Milano in him a lot. I mean, he's not a Puz Leslie guy, obviously. That dude's all world, but Matt Milano, I can see it a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's an absolute steal in the 4th round, man. In the real NFL draft, that was.
And a good floor.
Yep. So, all right. Well, listen, I got my guy, and I was just talking up Penn State talent.
I knew it.
Here we go.
Yeah, Brisker.
I knew it.
Yeah, that's the
good
one.
Good thing I got a.
There's another good one out there that I like.
I know, but he's what I wanted. Back-to-back Penn State snipes.
Why'd you go with Brisker?
Versatile safety who's probably going to be on the field at all times. The guy can play free safety. He can play strong safety. He's going to be, I think, I really love Brisker a lot. And I think he's going to be on the Bears for like the next 10 to 12 years.
I heard Brisker is Pennsylvanian for bear.
Could be. Or Albanian for bear.
He just looks like a bear. All right, Jalen Petrie.
That was my backup.
He's going to be battling all these guys. He might be the safety one out of this class as far as IDP goes.
Could be.
He showed versatility at the Senior Bowl. A lot of people thought he was just a thumper, but he showed that he could cover. Like this guy showed he could cover in one-on-ones, and I think that opened a lot of eyes.
4 picks, 36 tackles for losses. I mean, he can do both. He can cover, he can hit.
Petrie's a beast, man.
Good and he played linebacker.
Like,
he played linebacker
Houston
first.
Needs
switch to safety,
especially with Reed gone.
Right.
I like it, dude. I like it a lot.
There's a lot of value here in this 3rd round. So we got Dynasty Trip. He's got 2 minutes left, and he missed his last selection. So Jared, be ready, because I might have you make this
He
selection.
has messaged in the chat group, and he did say that I picked the guy that he would have picked.
How about that? How the hell did you do that?
Well, I don't know. It was luck, but
don't say.
I mean, let's be real. Like I said,
sure.
I was surprised he was still on the board personally, but
Sleeper's got to step their game up. They got all these safeties at DBs. What's wrong with you guys?
I do have an idea who he's going to pick, and I'm going to put it into the chat. And as soon as the pick is done, no matter what, I'm going to click enter. So I already typed it.
He's taking a guy from USC.
Nah.
We got a solid down there. We got about a minute.
I didn't think about that guy.
Send it, Jared.
He got me. Right. He did pick a DB, but I thought he was going to pick Elam.
All right, so we thought it was going to be
Dirty
Kyrie
Jobs'
Elam.
guy.
It was
Jobs
Nick Cross. All right, so Nick Cross, DB, Indianapolis, out of Maryland. What are you guys' thoughts? Physical, fast. What are your thoughts?
Well, to be honest, I was really surprised they let boy go, Rocky Sin, and so you kind of knew that they were going to get a good DB in the draft, and he's going to step right in and play. I mean, really surprised that Indianapolis had made some of the moves that they have made personally, but I mean, letting Walker go last year, Rocky Sin this year, two surprising moves for me personally.
I feel like Nick Cross was a late riser, for me at least through the draft process. I didn't get note of him and start to watch him probably till about a month or two prior to the draft. I think I might have talked about him on Joe Knows.
Yeah.
All right.
We did our draft review on the safety position, and he was one of the safeties that you brought to the table.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with him after you were talking about him. I started looking into him. I fell in love with him.
So I think, there's a lot of talent at the edge in the safety position in this class. Final selection of the draft, Green Bay Packer. Of course, the Dirt Man goes with his hometown team. Devonta Wyatt out of Georgia, all 24 years of him. And he's going to be playing there for the Dirt Man. Any thoughts on Devonta Wyatt? And then we will wrap up this mock draft.
I mean, I think, we knew that he was going to go, and I would arguably say that he was number 2 defensively on the Georgia team. In my opinion, I just feel like he just was a stud. I mean, he's 315 pounds, he's 6'3", but he moves like he's, 280, 270. So he's an agile dude. He ain't small by any means. So he's fun to watch. That big 9'5" comes around the corner. You know what I think of when I see him come around the corner?
What do you
in the program where the dude's talking smack to the running back of Mississippi State, and he's like, that dude's scared. When he come around the corner, that's all I could think of. I do not want to see Wyatt.
One of the best movies ever. The program.
Killer. I got a seat at the table. All right. Who has Chris's videos wants to know who has the best draft. We want to know as well. So make sure you are commenting and let us know, because I think I had the best draft. Joe, I know, thinks he has the best draft. We're not modest at all. It runs in the family. Nito, he's over there saying it. Sure, Jared thinks it. And everybody listening at home, if you're watching on YouTube, comment, let us know who you think nailed it. Make sure you to check out toiletstotitles.com, because our rookie IDP top 10 is going to be coming out probably around Friday. I'm sure we're going to post this mock draft in article form, so you'll be able to go on toiletstotitles.com, pull up this mock draft, so that when you're getting ready for your IDP draft, you can check this out and be like, oh, this is what these guys thought, and let it help you to make your selections and go win yourself some money. So everybody who drafted this evening, I really appreciate you coming on. We had obviously Jared Gray here, but the people drafted from home. We had Dynasty Trip, we had Joey the Tooth, we had Coach Fry, and we had Chris's videos. But Jared, you were here. You're giving us the full-blown analysis, and we really appreciate you. And, man, we can't go a year without getting back together. This time around, we got to get together a lot sooner than that. What do you think?
I'll tell you what. Let's make a deal. How about I help with your top 10?
IDP rookie top 10?
Let's get it.
So Nino, send him the link. There you go. You're going to see Jared. You're going to see Jared. So don't make fun of us. All right, you're the expert. So we're trying to scratch the surface here. We're getting in. But we don't claim to be. So when you see our top 10,
I do a thing every year on my 411 podcast, and I rank my rookie top 25 or top 20, and I compare each player to a previous drafted player or previous NFL player. I feel like I've been pretty good in a lot of them. I have a few misses, I will tell you that.
We all do, man. We all do. So Bishop Sankey, Lendale White, some of my biggest ones.
Well, I will tell you this: I compared my favorite player of all time, a former Florida State player, which is saying something because I'm an Oklahoma guy, right? Derrick Brooks is, in my opinion, one of the greatest linebackers of all time, and I think White can be that guy, and I still believe that. So, really? Yeah.
I mean,
and he wears the same number. So.
Yeah.
he's not 55, he's 45, but
right. I mean, he had.
I really think White can be that guy.
2 years ago.
But Derrick Brooks is. I mean, he played 16 years and didn't miss a game, bro. 16 years.
Yeah,
Insane.
And didn't miss a game. That's
Iron Man.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah.
No, I do love
and
White.
linebackers.
They don't make
Come
them
on,
like
dude,
that.
that's crazy.
They don't make them like that no more.
No, they don't.
Well, we'll see. The door. It's still. It's unwritten right now for Devin White. Let's
It's
see.
been a
Let's see
while,
if he
though.
can go.
It's been a while.
It
you
has.
know?
It has. Well, we had Ray Lewis. I don't know about the injuries though. We'll see.
Well, look at it. Luke Kuechly stopped. Arguably, he still had 5 years left.
Patrick Willis.
Even
Patrick
your boy.
Willis.
Got out.
Your
10
boy,
years.
coach.
Which one?
Vander Bosch get hurt?
Vander. Well, he wasn't on that level.
No.
No, but he did, man, and he hasn't been the same since. He had the neck stuff. But listen, everybody listening at home, I don't want to keep you too long. Look for toiletsandtitles.com. Our top 10 is now going to be including Jared Gray, our IDP top 10. So check that out, Jared. We really appreciate you. We'll get you that link later on. Mike D, Dirty Jobs. He did the Lord's work this evening, producing for us in the background. Joe Clark, Nino Brown. It was great seeing you guys as always. And again, make sure you check out toiletsandtitles.com. Comment on the show, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you want to support the show, patreon.com/toiletsandtitles. If you want to get in the Frankenstein League, DM me. We got 12 more spots. We will get you in. Jared, I'm going to have to send you some info. Maybe you want to get in and be one of the friends of the show. Joe, your fingers up. What do you got to say?
Yep, real quick. Chris's videos, if you're still out there, I'm doing a draft review for each team's draft class. And I'd like to invite you to do the Chicago Bears with me. I know you're a huge Bears fan. So if you'd like to do with me, I assume you probably would because you love talking about this stuff. I'll send you an email and just to set it up. And if you're interested, I'd love to have you do the review the Bears draft class with me.
All right, he's talking junk right now. He said he had the best draft. All right, we'll see about that. We'll see what the people at home comment and say. All right, everybody, again, we appreciate you listening in. We will catch you next week. John Loud, the Gridiron Scholar, is coming on to talk Devy prospects. So we're just getting into more college discussion, so I can't wait for it. Catch you all later on. Take care.